Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to demystify one of the most powerful tools you'll find in statistics, the line of best fit. We're going to dive into how you can take a messy cloud of data points and find that one single clear line hiding inside, a line that can show you hidden trends and even help predict the future. So let's jump right in. Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we'll tackle the basic problem. How do you even see a pattern in a sea of data points? Then we'll level up from just guessing to using a really precise method. I'll show you the magic formula behind it all and how it lets us predict what might happen next. And we'll wrap up with two super important rules that every data analyst has to know: the effective outliers and the golden rule of statistics. All right, first things first, why do we even need this thing called a line of best fit anyway? Well, it all starts when you're looking at what's called bivariate data. Now, that sounds fancy, but all it means is you're comparing two things. Like, say, the hours you study versus the score you get on a test. Two variables, right? So, picture this. You've plotted all your data and you get, well, this. A scatter plot. It's just a cloud of dots all over the screen. And you can kind of squint and see a pattern, right? Maybe it's generally going up, maybe it's going down. But how do you nail down that one definitive trend?
Now, back in grade 11, you probably handled this by just drawing a line by eye, right? You just kind of eyeball it, try to get it to slice through the middle of the points. And look, that's fine for a quick look, but it's not exactly scientific, because the line you draw and the line I draw, they could be completely different. For any real analysis, we need something better, something everyone agrees on.
And that's where we get our big grade 12 upgrade. We're leaving the guesswork behind and stepping into the world of pure mathematical precision. It's called the least squares regression line. It sounds a bit intimidating, I know, but this is the real official line of best fit. Okay, just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the by eye guess. It's okay. But on the right, that's the least squares regression line. There's only one of them. It is mathematically perfect. The way it works is that it minimizes the distance to every single data point. It's the line that is, on average, the closest it can possibly be to everything. That's what makes it the true line of best fit. So, okay, how do we define this perfect line? Well, it all boils down to an equation that's actually way simpler than you might think. Here it is, y equals a plus bx. Now, I know it might look a little backward, but this is basically your old friend y equals mx plus c from algebra, just in its statistics outfit. B is just the slope, telling you how steep it is, and A is the y-intercept, which is just where the line hits that vertical axis. But here's the key thing to remember. Y in this formula isn't one of your actual data points. It's the predicted value our line thinks you should get for any x you plug in. And that right there is where the real magic happens. Because once we have that equation, we can start making predictions. This is where statistics stops being about looking at the past and starts being about forecasting the future. Okay, so the big question is, how on earth do we find those A and B values? The formulas to do it by hand are pretty intense. But the good news? You don't have to. Your calculator is going to do all the heavy lifting for you. You just pop it into stats mode, enter your data points, hit a couple of buttons, and boom, it spits out the exact values for A and B. Is that easy? All right, so you've got your equation. Now you can predict in two different ways. The first is called interpolation. This is when you predict a value that's inside the range of data you already have. So if your data is for people aged 10 to 20, predicting something for age 15, that's interpolation, and it's generally pretty safe and reliable. But the other way is extrapolation, and that's when you predict outside your data range, like trying to predict for age 30. And that is where you have to be really, really careful. This example with a child's height is just perfect for showing you why. You can see that a kid's height between, say, age 2 and 12 follows a nice, predictable straight line. But what happens if you just extend that line out to predict their height at age 25? Well, the math might tell you they're going to be 9 feet tall. Obviously, that's not what happens. People stop growing. So the lesson is, real-world trends don't always go on forever. You always have to stop and ask yourself, does this prediction actually make any sense in the real world? Okay, let's move on to a really important warning. What happens when you have one data point that's, well, just way out there, the one that doesn't fit the pattern? We call this an outlier, and you have to know about them, because they can have a huge impact on your line of best fit. So, what is an outlier? It's basically any data point that's just hanging out by itself, far away from the main cluster of data. It's the oddball, the one that breaks the rule. And because our line of best fit is designed to be as close as possible to all the points, this one little troublemaker can cause some big problems. I love this next analogy. It's a great way to picture what's happening. Imagine your line of best fit is a rubber band, okay? And it's stretched nice and tight through the middle of all your main data points. Now, picture that one outlier as a little hook, way off to the side. What happens? That single point acts like a magnet. It literally pulls the rubber band, your line of best fit, towards it. And this completely distorts the line. It skews it, making it a terrible representation of what the rest of the data is actually doing. Just one outlier can completely change the slope and the y-intercept of your line, which means all your predictions will be way off. This is why spotting outliers is so important. All right, we're at our final section, and honestly, this might be the single most important rule in all of statistics. It's this. Just because two things seem to be connected, it doesn't automatically mean one is causing the other. To really get this, we need to meet a new value called the correlation coefficient, which we just call R. Your calculator gives you this number, and it's basically a score from -1 to +1 that tells you how strong the relationship is and how well your line actually fits the data. The closer that number is to 1 or -1, the stronger the connection. So here's a quick cheat sheet for what R means. If you get an R value that's over, say, 0.8, that's a strong positive correlation. It means as one thing goes up, the other thing goes up too. If your R is close to 0, it means there's pretty much no relationship at all. The points are just a random cloud. And if you get a strong negative number, like -0.9, that means you have a strong negative correlation. As one thing goes up, the other reliably goes down. Okay, let's make this real with a famous example. It is a statistical fact that if you plot ice cream sales against the number of shark attacks, you get a really strong positive correlation. The R value is super high. The line of best fit looks great. So, what does that mean? Does eating ice cream somehow cause shark attacks? Should we ban ice cream sales to keep people safe at the beach? I mean, obviously not, right? That's ridiculous. The mistake is jumping to the conclusion that one thing causes the other, because there's a hidden third variable that's actually causing both. Hot weather. When it's hot, more people buy ice cream. And when it's hot, more people go swimming in the ocean. It's the heat that causes both things to increase. And that brings us to the golden rule. You have to burn this phrase into your brain. Correlation does not imply causation. Just because two things move together, no matter how strongly, it is not proof that one is causing the other. Getting this concept is what separates a good data analyst from someone who makes really bad, really dangerous conclusions. And there you have it. That's our deep dive into the line of best fit. It's an incredibly powerful tool for seeing patterns and even predicting the future. But as we've seen, you have to use it carefully and think critically. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you know how to find this perfect line, what hidden relationships out there in the world could you start to measure and test? Thanks for watching.